Hi, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. Today I have a fun project for you, and it is part of one of my free online classes for January of 2020. And if you've not taken one of my online classes before, I've switched them up just a tiny bit for 2020, at least for the first part of what will be our mini catalog. So if you don't have a mini catalog or a celebration catalog, let me know. And if you're in the United States, I'll be happy to send you one. So I have two free online classes each month of January, February, and March. So I'm going to show you one project for one of the bundles that I'm doing in January. So this one, we are going to be using the Bonanza Buddies, which is right here. So it's a super fun little set. It will be great for children or party favors, for guy cards, for thank yous. There's going to be so much that you can do with this. So to participate in my free online classes, all you have to do is purchase the bundle, which the bundle are the stamps and the dies. So it's right here, and I will put the link. If you're looking on Facebook or my website, wherever you're looking, you'll find the little link here so you can purchase it. So the stamps and the dies, and you have to use this month's host code, which you will find that as well. So you have to buy it online, or you can email me or text me and I can order it for you, but you can't buy it at a class or a workshop or a camp. It has to be bought online with the host code. And then that will tell me that you want to participate in my online class. And when you participate in my online class, then you'll get the supplies to make 3 projects. One of them is today's projects, and that's one of the changes. In the past, they've always been private. The other 2 projects will be private. Nobody else will see them except for the people participating in the online class. But I am going to switch it up so y'all can see one of the projects, and then the other 2, you'll get the supplies. So all of the paper and the little pom-poms and some of the dimensionals, all of that will come to you when you get your class supplies. You will need these colors of inks, whether or not you have them in a stamp pad or in a Stampin' Write marker. Either one will work, but you'll need those. That's all you'll need, in your adhesive and a black pad. You'll always need a black pad. No matter what you do in life, you need a black stamp pad. That's just a given. So today we're going to use that. I'm also going to be using, it's a must-have. I've used them so much already. I'm going to use the die out of the So Sentimental bundle. I'm going to use the largest rectangle, which I guess is this one. But if you do the online class, when you get this first card, I will show you, it will already be run through the die, so you don't have to have that right away. And then when you spend $50, you get to pick whatever you want out of a celebration catalog. So this will put you, I'm not sure if this was $50. I should have looked when the catalog was open. But if it's not, then just bump yourself up. It probably is over $50. There's not anything that I'm using on today's project that's in that. So just pick whatever you want, because you don't need it for this project. So this is another thing that I've already made using the Bonanza Buddies. I just wanted to show you that because this doesn't use anything else in the suite. It doesn't use the papers or the pom-poms or even the colors that come with. So you'll be good to go with other projects. But this is an air freshener for your car, and you can see that tutorial up. And today's project that I am making is a flip card, trifold flip card. And you may have seen this on my channel in the past. I did this in September, August maybe, I don't know. It was for a demonstrator event that we did. So you can see all of the sides are colored, and I did it with the snowman suite because there were so many elements of it and I wanted to use them all. So same reason I did it for this, because there's so many pieces and they're all so cute. So here's the stamp set. So you need to buy this and the dies, and you'll need that, and then you'll get all of this with the little pom-pom. It'll already be cut out. You'll get the dimensionals, so it'll be ready to go. And then you'll have these papers. So you'll get this, and it will already be scored, and it will be folded because it fits better in an envelope folded. So then you won't even have to worry about the direction, and it will be already cut out. But this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper that I have scored at 4 inches. Just want to make sure it's nice and folded, and yours will already be done to this point. So that's a bonus for you. So I'm going to pull my die cutting machine over. And then this is the biggest of the rectangles that comes in the So Sentimental bundle. And then there is a little trick with this. If you didn't see the video the first time around that I did it with the snowmen, when you run our dies through this trifold panel card, make sure I have it on the right direction. Just roll it through once. If you roll it through twice, our dies are good enough that you will have a total punch through, and we want the back panel to have a back. So only roll it through one time. But like I said, if you're participating in my online class, you will already have yours rolled through. So just one roll, and it's like magic. So you'll get yours just like this. I won't take it apart for you. You'll get it and it'll be in the mail just like this. So then when you take it apart, you'll have this piece, this piece, this piece, and then see it keeps the back. But if you do roll that through one more time, if you're doing another one, that's gonna pop out, so don't do that. Then this piece we're gonna use back here to just kind of make this a little bit more solid. And then this piece is gonna be a piece of scrap that you're gonna need to stamp on. Even though it's a beautiful piece of scrap, if you have another piece of white laying around and you'd rather keep that, then do that, because it's a cute little scalloped piece. And this is what that die does. Super cute. So let's get some of our stamping of the things we need to run through the machine again, and then we'll stamp the card. And when you get your stuff, you can go back and refer to this video and just follow along with me. So the dies come with these two fun banners, and they also come with a really fun tag. So we need to stamp our lion. And he comes in two pieces. So we're gonna stamp his head in the mango. So it's his head and his little end of his tail. Our one piece. And then I'm gonna switch to Daffodil Delight. And these are the colors that are listed in the January mini catalog. They suggest you get to go with this, so I'm just going with those because that works well for both of us. Let's go this way. I'm trying to think when I run these through the die. So now we've got our lion. And then there's a little toucan. I'm going to stamp him in the black. And any black would work for this because we're not going to be doing any watercoloring. So whichever color you have, I mean, whichever kind of stamp pad you have that's black, it doesn't need to be waterproof. Or it could be stays on, so it could be super waterproof. Make him go this way so he fits on my little scrap piece of paper here. And then because they're going to a party, they both need some party hats. So let's go with some Bermuda Bay. And if they were on separate page, I mean on the same page, I might give them two different color hats, but since they're on different pages, they're gonna get the same color. So there's one. And there's the other. Now, there is a die that cuts those out, but I can cut a triangle just as fast as running that through the machine. So for me, I just cut these things out. If you like to run them through the die machine, by all means do it, because there is one. It's right here. So if you want it to be super precise, run it through the die machine. I just like to be done with it and not have to worry about fiddling with placing it. So there we go. Those are done. And then to give him just a little bit of color, I have some Stampin' Write markers. If you don't have the markers in the colors, you could use a blender pen and the stamp pads that you just used, because these are just the colors that we're using on the card as well. But he's got 3 sections of his beak. I'm just gonna color those in. But you could use blends if you had the blends in these colors, or you could use the blender pen and just take it to the tip of your pad, or if you have the markers, use the markers. You don't need to blend it though, so that's why I didn't get my blends out. Okay, so that's everything that we need to stamp that needs to be cut out. So let's roll this back over here. And here's the banners. And you don't want to do your banners what we call speed bump, because over time it will warp them. Mine have been used a lot already, even though they're new, because I had a downline event. So a lot of people have already made this card. And you can see they're a little bit bendy already, so I'm aiming them at a different direction. So just line this up. And this is why I chose not to do the hat, because it was one less thing I had to worry about lining up. And it's just as fast to just do this. And they didn't take long to cut out, so. And just roll through, and you can see how cute those little banners are. You can order new ones of these, and you can also get new blades if you bought one of the new trimmers, or if you've gotten one free from me in one of the promotions I did to get a free paper cutter of the new ones that came out last year, the end of last year. Now here you go with him. And hopefully I didn't do it too close. You can see it's got the little thing that's going to cut his little tail. So the tip of his, like the end of his tail, is a different color than the rest of his tail. But it's super easy to lose it. So just make sure after you roll it through that you grab that. And again, just one cut. There's no reason to send these things through more than you need to if they're cut, because then sometimes they move and you cut more than you need to. Okay, now we just have to assemble this all and do a fun little stamping on each panel, and I'll show you the way I think is easiest to do these. So I do one panel at a time. So let's start with our front. And the idea is that you want to kind of see everything through as much as you can. So you can either start with the front or the back. I'm going to start with the front, and then I'm going to do each panel. But as you adhere things to the panel, you also want to make sure that you're adhering it so everything's not going to stick when it's closed. So flip this over and just add some adhesive on this. I have some lovely embossing powder on my table, so I have some stuck now in there. So you can see if you put it on this little piece of paper, then the chances are it's going to go into your window, and you don't want it to go into the window. Okay, now you have this here. I'm going to go ahead and take my next piece, and I want the balloons, which do have an up and down, so make sure your balloons aren't floating up and down. I'm going to put that on this one, and I've cut it just a tad bigger, and I'm going to adhere it a tad higher. Actually, I think the embossing powder is on my snail, not on my table. I made a beautiful project, and I had brand new embossing powder on my table, and my cats ran through and they knocked it all off. So you know how if you watch my videos and I emboss, I often say it takes a while to use up embossing powder. Not when your cats knock the whole thing off. And it's not sticking very well because it does have embossing powder stuck in my snail. I'm going to switch snails. This must have been the one that was in that project. This one I cut just a tad too big. So I'm just going to trim it down. There we go. So now you can see that we can see both of those through. And then just take your bone folder again and give it a nice little press. Okay. And then we're going to take our banners, and we want one to show here, but I want it here on the inside. So again, I'm going to put it on this just barely. Let's switch to this one. The This one I think is almost gone. That's why I had another one, a new one laying here. And then just from tip to tip, and that will hold it in place. And I'm going to take my other one and pick it up. And again, just put a tiny bit, this may be all the way gone, it's gone. That's why I had a different one sitting here. But I think I've worked past where the embossing powder was touching it. And you just want a tiny bit because this barely reaches over the panel. So for this one, I want it to go opposite, which will be this way. So super simple, just make sure that everything is like lining up. So now when you open it, it's gonna open like this. And then let's stick this thing in here. And this again is just one of the ones that cut through. Oh no, you can still see embossing powder. It's coming out of my snail as well. It's like inside of it. Hang on, let me see, maybe if I empty it, maybe that will help. And it's also knocked some on my table. This card's gonna have a little extra glitter effects on it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my words on it so they don't get covered up anywhere with some of the confetti that I'm gonna add. So there's a nice big saying, and I'm gonna put that on this back panel. And I'll tell you what it says after I stamp it. It's just in black. I want it up towards the top so it will show through. It says, I'm glad it's your birthday, so I can tell you how wonderful you are. And again, this saying could be used with a lot of different birthday cards. It doesn't have to be on a child's card. And this doesn't even have to be a child's card. Anybody that's young at heart. And then I'm gonna flip this over, and on this one right here, because it's the least busy of the design, so this will show through the best. I'm gonna take the happy birthday that comes in the set. Put that right there. And then there's one that's a long saying, and this one says, I think it says, let's celebrate you. Let's stamp it and see if that's what it says. I'm doing this card from memory, which is kind of a scary thing to do. It may not end up exactly like my other sample. Yep, let's celebrate you. Oh, and while I have this black thing open, you can see my little lion here. He needs a face. And the nice thing about when you stamp the face separate like this is every time you stamp them, they're going to look a little bit different. It's easier to do if you do it before you cut it out, but there we got it. So try to remember to do yours before you run it through the diamond cut machine. So that's most of our stamping, except there is one little piece that I'm going to add at the end, and it's a little star bit, this little starburst. I like to call it also my little, in case you touch the card, because you can see I've already gotten a little black on my hands, even though I started out with nothing on my hands. So if you accidentally touch the card anywhere and you get a little fingerprint on it, not only will those little confettis make it a little happier, but it will also cover up a multitude of fingerprints if we need it to. So we'll wait and add those at the end in case while I'm assembling the rest of it, I touch anything. So here's our little lion body. Stick him on right here. And here's our little lion mane, which is a different color because we stamped it in a different color. Then we'll take a tiny little dimensional and his face. And then, you know, his little bit of his tail that we popped out. So it goes here. So his tail's also a different color than his body, which is fun. Oops, it stuck to my nail. And then his hat. And this one, because I hand cut it, I don't know if you can see, I left a longer tip on the top because I want to add a pom-pom. And that's the other reason that I like to hand cut these. If I'm going to add the pom-pom, because there's not just quite enough to stick the pom-pom on the top of it when it comes through the die cut machine. Just lay this on here. Just lay it on your thing and get some sticky on the back, or you could use a glue dot, but this gets plenty. Stick that on there. Whoops, stuck to my hand and onto my freshly done nails. Now I have snail all over. I'll have to get that off. So I'm going to use a glue dot because I don't want any of this more. Oh, my husband took my glue. We were taking our Christmas decorations down yesterday, so all my glue dots are downstairs. Here, I'll do it this way. I don't want to get it on the card though. Anytime you're doing this, open your card up. But we were taking down our Christmas decorations, and a couple of them, you know, how things are kind of broken. And he came up and got my glue dots to fix them. So they're all downstairs. So here's our front, less the little dots that we're going to add. So then just add our little toucan, and he doesn't get one of these. But you don't want to put one on the inside because it won't let your card close nicely. Stick him in here. Oh, we're not all the way done with our stamping because we have my favorite stamp. I thought I would love the animals, and I do love the animals, but wait till you see these little presents. Give him his hat. And then right here on this, there's 3 little gifts, and you could use them at Christmas. You could use them on little tags. Let's get a Bermuda Bay. Put it here. This was the other reason that there's a chance I might get my fingers dirty. Let's get a Coastal Cabana. I don't remember. I think this one goes up to. How sweet are those? And then a Grapefruit Grove. And again, these are colors that you might not put together, but because they're right there in the catalog, right there with this suite, as you're ordering things now, and they've done it this way in the catalog, you can look and check to see if you've got all those colors. And then when you pull the stamp set out, you don't have to think right away, what colors might work with this? And go to your basic brights that you might have gone to in the past. This is a little bit more quirky, a little bit more fun, a little bit more unique, and it didn't take any brain power. Y'all stamp like this at home where you just have a mess under you? And see, now I've got some colors on me, so if I get my card dirty, I'm gonna have that little thing to save me. This is my favorite part of the presents. So this is the quirky little Dr. Seuss feel, I think. So there's little bows. Not that I'm ready to make anything Christmas again. Oops. But they don't exactly match up to the presents. And there's the other one. Because I did this at my downline event, I had to use almost all my blocks because we did 11 projects. So everything's double mounted. How sweet is that? And I think I've done pretty good so far. I shouldn't say it because as soon as you say it, then you're going to touch it. So get the terracotta tile. And you want to add some of these little starbursts. It's a less is more, because you want your card to stay white. So these are for some highlights. Don't overdo it. It's kind of a retro 60s vintage feel. And the place to start with them is where you might have any fingerprints. Start there and then work out. But put a couple on every panel, and then it kind of ties it all together. So if you have the class, you will have gotten everything but the inks and the stamps and the dies, and then your adhesive. I'll send you a couple of little dimensionals in case you don't have those, but you'll have everything else. Now this is the front, so I'm going to put a couple more here than I might on the other panels. But not too many, because again, I want to keep it light and airy. And then flip it over, because remember, all of our panels have stuff. Not that I was hoping that I would smudge the card, because nobody's ever hoping that, but I was kind of not hoping. That's the wrong word. But if I had smudged it, I did want to show you how this is the perfect little thing to kind of fix your smudges. But oh well. So there we go. So then you have this fun card that shows all the way through. Here's my other one. I think that I've reversed some of the banner colors, but it doesn't matter. I mean, there isn't a right or wrong. But all the pom-poms will be different because it's a little group set of them. So both ways, all of it's done. The main thing when you do these is just to start with the things that are going to show through. So you see how I started with the papers and my banners to make sure that everything was going to show through. So I hope you enjoy that. So for January, my online classes are the Bonanza Buddies, and it's not the poppies. Is it poppies? I think it is poppies. We have so many flowers. And then I do have them listed on my website. So you can go to my website and click the stamping tab, and it has all of the classes listed there. If you want to take the March class, which is the Timeless Tropicals, that's one of them in March. You don't have to wait to March to buy the stuff. You can buy it now. Just make sure you use the host code. And then in March, when it happens, I will send you the stuff then. You don't have to wait to buy the stamps until then. Because sometimes people wanted the stamps before. That was another change I made. But if you have any questions about my online classes, let me know. This is one of the projects, and I will get the other one up for the other class soon. Have a great day. Bye.